Welcome to the Open Books Podcast, where we discuss all things going on in the real estate industry, helping you take the road less traveled to real estate success, guiding you to the top 10%.
1%.
1%.
0.5%. I'm just kidding.
We're just going to take you to the top.
Yeah, I'm just going to be the top.
If you listen to your co-hosts here, Brooke Massey, Casey Tudor, and myself, Curtis Haddock, you will go to the top.
If you're not first, you're last.
I was high when I said that, Ricky.
And if you're not last, you're first.
That's right.
Well, unless you're second, third, or fourth,
true.
or
Yeah.
however many. You can be 500th.
How's your throat?
My throat?
Yeah, because it was cold a while ago.
It was cold and it made me cough. You guys not ever drink?
Yes.
Like I'm drinking
yeah,
my...
it happens. It happens when you eat ice cream too. That's like why when you're sick, you shouldn't eat cold things.
Yeah. I'm drinking my...
and as an asthmatic,
my
you shouldn't
McDonald's
really
caramel
do that
frappe, sponsored by Books Real Estate Academy right now.
You guys,
McDonald's lucky to have us.
I would actually I would not be surprised if, as we go through our episodes and we listen to the opening, sometimes I don't know if I'm mixing up when we say guiding and helping, because and I get confused on it. So I just say whatever's in my mind at the time, and then
noticed,
and then switch it for the end and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So if someone's out there listening, I dare you to research all of our episodes.
I dare you. Triple dog dare you.
And see how many times I switched the two up.
And if you guess right,
there you go.
You get a McDonald's frappe. I don't know.
Okay.
If you guess, if you get it right, and you tell us which episodes it switched up on, then you can guess. You can be a guest speaker on the podcast.
People are like,
"That's cool.
Can you just get to the topic of today's podcast? That'd be great."
Sometimes I bet they are like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no.
We're going to defy the YouTube algorithm because we do what we want.
But also, too, we're just real people talking about real things in real life, and we have,
We're going to fix that with the cartoons.
Don't tell them that. We're AI.
No one knows what we're talking about.
No. We were talking about making our podcast. It'd be cool if we were, if you guys are watching on YouTube, if we were all cartoons, what it would look like.
That'd be awesome, actually. I would
100%.
You guys, I was thinking about it real quick, and then, yes, we'll get into the episode. With AI, I just had this thought yesterday, and I know that I'm not the only one. This is the thought, why people are scared and afraid of AI.
AI is always a good topic.
It's it's going to take over the world, right? And, my thought process is always okay, no, it's not even close to taking over the world. However, it will take over people who aren't utilizing it, right? But then I started thinking, I was talking to April it was over the weekend, so a few days ago. And she said, or I told her, I said, where AI would get really scary is if AI learned how to write AI, which I guess it kind of already does. Right. It can write algorithm, it can write code and programming and stuff. Mm-hmm. But if it can create, I should say create AI and new ideas and things like that, that's when I think it could be scary, because what if it starts to create emotions, all the stuff that we do? And I mean, it can mimic emotions just from thousands and millions of examples, and it can just, I'm supposed to react sad in this case. Yeah. And so I feel like at some point, maybe, I don't know, if AI is creating AI and AI is really starting to do all of the jobs that we have, well, then there would be no financial market for anyone to buy the AI.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because there'd be no one who has any money. And so I wonder, I was just thinking, I was going down this rabbit hole.
Because AI could just create it without money.
Yeah. If you had, but that's another good point. You guys just going down this rabbit hole of thought. Where does it stop, and at what point is it going to be damaging to society, to where we're okay, well, we're going to have to outlaw AI?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be constraints put on it at some point.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory.
Just my thought for the day.
I love AI.
Right now, yeah, because it's super helpful and it makes you efficient, and if you're not using it, you're falling behind.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But
I mean,
10 years, it's advancing so rapidly.
I I literally was just having this conversation because I was like, I actually had it at lunch yesterday, and we were just talking about AI, and I said, literally like 2 years ago, probably not even that. I remember another agent telling me about ChatGPT, and she was like, "But like, don't tell a lot of people because it's not out yet." And like, it really wasn't out yet. She's like, because it's so slow. Like, as soon as like a lot of people get on it, it crashes.
Yes,
if you guys remember that.
I remember, yeah.
So I was like, and now everybody uses it for like every dang thing. So it's like crazy how fast it just.
But like when AI is like creating like robots that move and talk and can, because we talk about our jobs, like, there's AI, like you'll be able to write contracts, and it'll just keep getting more and more efficient with the thousands of different if then and scenarios, but then like, well, how are they going to show? AI can't show houses. AI can't go to inspections. AI
can they clean my house?
But when they become robots and they can start, and if they can they can recreate themselves. At what point?
I just had an image of a robot trying to open a door. But the key's like getting stuck, and it's like, damn it.
That's why they can't take over. Right. What would it wouldn't know what to do. Yeah. But once it taught itself, it would tell the whole network of AI bots to
be
say,
like, you just got to pull the door in.
This is how you fix a door jam.
It's like, it'd be like me. It's like I turn around to my client. I'm like, you try. I just give them the key. Half the time it works. They're like, dude, I'm like, awesome.
I mean, it's just stupid. I don't know why.
Like, I couldn't get into a house one time, and this little kid, he's like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I could not get the code is not working. He just walks up and opens the door. And I'm like, I'm so glad you were
when that happens to me, I just make a joke about it, and I'm just like, well, I couldn't do the only job I was hired to do.
I always say that too. I'm like, people say that all realtors do is open doors, but do you know how hard that is?
Yeah. I'm like, the hardest part of my job is opening doors and finding the damn light switches sometimes.
Man, it's like change your lock.
Okay.
And they're stupid.
Now that we are, I don't know,
10 minutes
into the episode, what are we talking about today?
Quality over quantity.
Quality over quantity. Maybe people are like, I wish this episode was quality over quantity.
It is quality.
Well, just like why chasing numbers can be a dangerous game for brokerages.
Yeah, chasing numbers is a dangerous game, and we were a victim of that for a while, just like wanting a certain number for an image and things like that. But we soon realized that, you know what? If we
don't need any of them. It's just us three now.
Yeah. We got rid of them all.
We kicked them all out.
We figured out we were the only quality. Yeah. No, but for real, I mean, if we just, focus on the quality of the individual that we're bringing on to mentor and coach and train and all those fun words, it's going to be less stressful. It's going to be less time consuming. It's going to be better for your mental health. Mm-hmm. You're going to have people that hold themselves accountable. When you just go after numbers, you're creating more work for yourself on top of people who are you're wasting your time with people who aren't ever going to produce or do anything because they're just there for a number. And you knew it before you brought them in a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have to try to get good at deciphering that.
It's a fine line because I know some like recruiters that are like they're kind of hardcore. It's like they sit down with someone. It's like, this is what it takes. Are you willing to do that? Oh, why are you hesitating? You either are or you aren't.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that.
Yeah, sure.
Or they'll hire people, but then they fire like the top or the bottom, however many agents every year. So it's like you're always on the chopping block. Yeah. So you always have to be, so I don't know if that's the best way.
Yeah, I don't know to what extreme we do.
But there's a
way.
There's a happy medium.
There is a happy medium, and I even think about it from the standpoint of, if anyone's ever read Magic of Compound Recruiting, not that I would say this about, the quality of people, but he calls them duds.
Yeah.
And and Hubert Humphrey,
power.
Yeah, there's power in duds because when you have a team of people and let's say you have 100 people, 100 duds. He talks about, well, if those people are not producing a bunch, I mean, and let's say someone who doesn't produce a bunch, they sell one house a year. If you have 100 duds, that's 100 deals a year on to your organization. So if you got rid of all your duds, you just got rid of 100 transactions. However, that's insurance, and we're in real estate.
Yeah.
And what I've learned is that insurance does not correlate, or it correlates, but it doesn't necessarily directly transfer over to real estate. It's a completely different sales cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Insurance, I could get a policy to my family member the day I sign up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, in real estate, you can get your license and might not ever sell anything to your family or friends.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so like this, and the sales cycle is way longer. Even if I could sell to my family the day that I got my license and signed up, I still got to wait, 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, that's if I signed up and they had a house that they wanted to buy right away. Got to find them a house, or got to list their house and get it sold. And in order to do that, you have to have some training, and it requires a lot more training than what the insurance industry requires for just selling a insurance policy.
Which is kind of crazy. Well, I don't know if it's crazy. I just feel like insurance is so complicated. So like I feel like it needs to be more.
It can be, yeah. It does. And but I think that people who are really know the products, like they definitely add a lot of value. But when you're brand new, you can sell a little policy to somebody. You don't have to know all that. Like you might not be able to help someone's financial planning with your insurance knowledge, but you can definitely do
a car insurance,
an auto policy, or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a fine line. So what
it's like, it's just getting worse and worse and worse, because I think people like, they just want to get out of production, because production is just such a burnout. I mean, we talk about 87% of people fail within the first 5 years, and then the other 13% are usually only in the sales part of the industry for 10 years, and then they go on and do other things. And it's like, why? If you're going to put 10 years into something, like do it the right way is my mindset, and get things so that way it's not just sales, like you're actually building something alongside while you're doing sales. And I think a lot of agents have that in mind. They want to get out of production. They always want to be the next thing, or they want to start their own brokerage. And the whole point in our
whole the work that's involved in it,
they don't understand. And it's like, but they know that they have to. You start your own brokerage. Not everyone is like this, but you start your own brokerage. The whole point of that is so then you bring on agents underneath you, so you can teach them, train them, whatever setup it is that you have. But now it's getting to the point where, like we're talking about, people are just, they're getting rid of values. They're just recruiting people to freaking recruit people. They're squeezing margins out. They're trying to, instead of, we'll just do a super low cap or a super low monthly fee or a transaction fee, and just to get as many bodies as they possibly can into their brokerage. And
because it's a numbers game. That's what they are told.
Right. Right. In sales, yes.
Yeah.
But this is different. To me, this is building a business.
It should be.
It's part sales, but
it should be different. But what I'm saying is that they don't. The other people don't look at it differently. They look at it as a numbers game.
Yeah.
And that's what they are taught in this industry and told that it's a numbers game. The more agents you have, the more that you will produce.
But then it's like, that's just greedy.
The problem I think is, and why this has happened, is because what people don't understand about real estate is like, it cannot really be a hobby. I mean, I guess it can be, but I think at the end of the day, it's a vocation.
Yes.
And it's not just a job. You have to take it seriously, and it's a craft, and you have to develop it and always be willing to learn, make mistakes, doing things that, like figuring things out on your own time for the betterment of your career. And most agents won't do that. In fact, most agents, what they do, and this is where the lack of quality comes from, and I tell the agents here this all the time, when they're like, the for sale by owner told me no. It's like, okay, well, that's the start of the negotiation. And it's like, and how many times?
Not yet.
and how many times do I have to tell the same person that?
Yes.
And it's like, and do you know why I have to tell them that? Because they don't develop themselves. They don't read a damn book that teaches them anything because they just want it to fall in their lap and happen. And that's where the lack of equality comes from.
That's
Then people want to take all those people because they don't really care. Like, if you don't care to train yourself, why should I care to train you, right? But you're going to get me a sale, and I'm going to make money off of it. So I'm going to get as many of you as possible.
Yeah.
And then just, I don't know, just crazy. It's just like we are hurting our own selves in our own industry by doing stuff like this. Like, I get it, but there is a better way to provide value and bring people on that are quality and build a business. And if we start doing more of that, then our industry as a whole, I think, is going to be so much stronger.
Sure.
So much stronger.
Well, I think what Casey said, I wouldn't say that that's where the lack of quality comes from. I would say that's an example of lack of quality.
Yeah.
The way I've always looked at this is we are not doing ourselves any favors as far as like how the industry has been set up from the very beginning. The way the industry is set up, it was destined to create a large amount of failure. And when you have a 90% fail rate, some of that is going to be because of the quality of the individual and that's
For sure.
that's not to say the quality of the person. It's the quality of their skill set as it relates to real estate sales, right?
Yes.
So I want to make sure that's clear. But the reason where low quality comes from, it starts with the concept of barriers to entry. And in real estate, there are very low barriers to entry, meaning that if you if you can pass a test and you have, $1,500 to your name, then guess what? You can get into real estate. And so we have a ton of people that see the few of us that are making good money in this, and they think, like the public thinks, they just open doors and they sell luxury houses. If only they knew in Oklahoma what that meant.
Right.
And so they're like, I'm going to go get my license because I'm going to be, I'm going to get paid to look at $1 million homes, and I get a $30,000 check if I sell $1 million home. Piece of cake. So there's not like a, like in sports, there's a tryout. Right? The test and the school and all that should be the tryout, but it's not difficult enough, and it doesn't take very many hours. And you can breeze through it. We've had people do it in a week.
And it doesn't explain how to
doesn't even tell you what
estate.
you're going to be doing. Doesn't tell you how to sell real estate. It doesn't prepare the person. And so we get a ton of people that get through, and the public, we are always having to defend our value to the public. Why is that? It's because there are so many of us that are in it, and when people get it's employees that are trying to do a business owner type of job,
right.
And
Employee
mindset. An employee mindset trying to be a self-employed individual doesn't work because what is the employee mindset? It's clock in and clock out. If I show up, I get paid, and
when's my break?
And what's the bare minimum that I have to do? And so when they come in, if they get a client or they get a buyer seller and they want to put a contract together, then I see so many agents that for the lack of care and respect for what is in front of them, they're getting paid thousands of dollars to assist in one of the largest purchases that someone's going to have in their investment financial portfolio. And they don't even care to read the contract that they're advising people, that they're getting paid thousands of dollars to give advice on. And then
people don't realize how big you get sued too.
Right? But they don't care because they don't realize, they think that they have no exposure, no liability on it.
Right.
And if only they knew, I think that they would care a lot more. But I just think that people just don't care. They're going to do the bare minimum, and they just want to show up and collect a paycheck. Yeah. If someone gets hurt along the way, this is not everybody. This is when we're talking about, like, this is because we have so many people in it competing, and it's so hard to get deals that it naturally goes in that direction. And then the way that we're set up, and then I'll let you guys talk, I promise, is we have a it's a broker, and then everyone is under a broker. And the way that, and most systems have no training type of system other than come to my classroom training, which we've talked about before. Classroom training ain't it. Like if I'm going to go learn how to, shoot guns, I probably need to put my hand on a gun and shoot it, not just look at a slide showing me how to do it or watching a video, right? I need to feel it and experience it. And real estate doesn't do that. It's classroom training, one broker, everyone's underneath it. And then as more people come in, that's where we're at. We got thousands of people in here in the industry. One broker can't possibly answer the phone call. And I don't blame brokers for not being available.
It's like the number one complaint is broker support.
And then you got people who come and hey, I heard you guys train. I want training. Wait, I got my split's going to be lower. Well, yeah. And it goes back to, the what Brooke was saying is how there's like we're competing for bodies, and the only way these broker owners know how to compete, they want to make it easy. Everyone wants to make it easy.
Well, and now
money is the easiest way. Hey, I'll give you a $10,000 cap. I'll give you a $9,000 cap. I'll give you an $8,000 cap. I'll give you $300 a month, and it's getting worse and worse and worse to where we are winning people by squeezing our margins, and then all it takes is another offer from someone else, and that person's not going to be loyal to you because you have no value whatsoever other than money.
Right.
And then when they get the next offer, guess what? They're gone to get the next best offer.
Yep.
And now you have a ton of bodies not able to train them. You're getting sued, like Brooke said, creating lots of headaches and problems. I could go on and on and on and on about this dang topic.
I was like, and then on top of that, but it's like not just money and enticing people with money, but they have just a mirage of all kinds of different margins and different opportunities and things that they're going to flash at you. I always tell agents, and I joke with them, and I'm like, you get into real estate to do sales only to be probably sold more than any human being out there. Like the average consumer, like you get mad at spam calls, become a real estate agent. You're going to get spam calls plus recruiting calls, plus they're going to call you to buy leads, to do this, buy this coaching,
and you
all
can't
kinds
stop
of
it.
stuff. But going back to like just brokerages, like we call it smoking mirrors. We talked to one agent, and it's really true, because it's like they tell you this great thing. The grass is greener over here. You can do this. We have the best training, or you get this, or you get this. I won't say some of the things, but
and then there's a reality.
Yes, it's like they make it sound so good to be true, and then you get there and you're like, well, this doesn't help me sell real estate.
Right.
And it's like, but the whole point of why they did that is to, again, bring you on, just to attract you, which I'm not saying you don't need those things, right? You have
some of those
to have
things
those
you don't
things.
need. Some of the things you don't need.
But my
for
thing
what's
is
out
like,
there.
don't lie. Like, have a mission statement, have core values. We had a whole episode on that. Like, you have to stand up for something that you're doing. Like, I can speak for all three of us. Like, we care a lot. That's why we're doing this episode too. But just even in our own brokerages, like, we care. We want to give transparency, and you'd be surprised how often we lose because of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Capitalism is a breeding ground for lies in the sake of making money, right? Or not necessarily lies, but manipulation. And it's a gray
Spinning
area.
narratives.
You win in a capitalistic market. The person who has more knowledge is the one who wins in a capital market. Where I think the line needs to be drawn, and this is just me, and not everyone has the same moral compass that I do. Everyone's different, right? But where I think the line needs to be drawn is where your knowledge is taking advantage of someone's lack of knowledge, and it's causing them harm. Where if they knew the full picture and they knew the truth, that they would possibly make another decision. And I think you could say that about so many different things, and recruiting is one of them. If you are recruiting somebody and you're withholding information, and what I mean by, because you can't teach them everything that you know. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm saying that that things that if you told them that they don't need some sort of special training or knowledge to understand.
Yeah.
If you told them like, hey, there's a monthly fee, and you withhold that to try to get them into your brokerage, then I think that you cross the line. If you another example, I mean, again, it would be like hidden fees, or if you tell them that training is amazing, and yes, we have a mentor program, but deep down, that they're going to have to fend for themselves, then you're crossing a line.
Oh, you brought up a good one, because you did a cross sell with someone from another brokerage, and they accidentally sent you the settlement statement, and they're known for always having an 80% split.
Yes.
But after you looked, like they got paid 75% or something because of all this crazy fees and randomness that they get charged. But
it's actually less than 70% on that one.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But nobody knows that.
Well,
they
because
don't
they advertise and tout 80-90% splits. But when you close, we got royalty fees. We got
this little fee.
This little
you got to pay for the CRM.
I know you didn't use the printer, but I still got to charge for the printer.
Everyone it's $2 at least.
So they're just nickel and dime people, and that's not every brokerage, but it's a lot of them, and it's because people, again, the lack of knowledge is they don't know what they don't know, so they don't know to ask those things sometimes, especially newer agents. And
it's about your spread,
and
not
the way
your
that
split.
people justify it is, well, if they cared about it, they should have asked. I don't need to tell them.
It's just going to create a problem down the road for you. Is all it is. Wasting your time.
It has. Look at what the public thinks about us. Just look at how the public views us.
That's what scares me. I just feel like people are just squeezing the margins as much as possible just to attract all these people. Well, eventually, we're just going to squeeze the margins so much. What's the point of having a broker? Yeah. Why do we even need to pay them?
It's like, hey, come work for us for free.
Well, let's just be real estate agents and just be out there. And I know there's some states that are like that, but education and stuff's different. But what are we doing to ourselves?
It's just different. They're still broker associates, and they can't be a managing broker without meeting our, for us, we can't even get once we get a broker's license in Oklahoma, you can be a managing broker. In the states that are broker only states, you get your broker's license, which for us is associate. They're just called a broker associate.
Got you.
They can't start their brokerage or become a managing broker without the qualifications of taking another. I believe this one. I think they have to take another test to be a managing broker, but they for sure have to have a sales goal, and they have to be in it for a certain number of years.
But, it could but I'm scared that it's gonna get worse. We had a thing. We were just talking about it yesterday. Once you get go through your real estate school, you used to only have a year to go take your test. Now they extended it to 3 years. Why?
Yeah, I don't
what was the point of that,
To get more people in, I guess. But I mean, for them, they make money when people go to school or go take the test. So you would think that they would want them to take the test sooner, and then if they fail, they can get. Maybe they did it because you can take the test a bunch of times, and they give them 3 years to keep taking the test.
Maybe that's a good point.
I just thought about that.
That's a good point.
That's probably what it is.
But still, if we keep doing stuff like that, there's going to be no test to take.
The problem with it is there's low barriers to entry, and then there's very low barriers to getting your broker's license.
Yeah, they're not the right barriers. Is the issue?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I wasn't good at the testing, but that didn't have any weight in what I've done.
And it's just 10 sales in 2 of the last 5 years. It's
that is not enough experience.
Texas, you need 900 hours. There's some serious barriers in Texas to getting your broker's license. And they also, scare people. They have exceptions, like if you went to college and your experience in production can reduce it and things like that. And so there are...
That's very smart.
Yeah. And so if I were to go get my broker's license in Texas, I only would have to do the 180 hours. And but still... The problem to me is, again, back to low barriers of entry. Then it's low barriers to getting your brokers and then starting your own brokerage. The lack of leadership and training people. But if someone, it's a capital market. If someone wants to go start a brokerage, they should have the opportunity to do it if they did it based on the rules and of the whole setup. However, I see so many brokerages, they don't even understand the concept of value. They don't know what their own value is.
I was like, let's go into that.
They don't even know their own value that they're even offering. And that's why the easiest value is monetary, right? Again, it goes back to, I can't, it's too hard to try to win people over on merit. Right. So I'm going to say, well, I'll make sure you pay me $1 less than you pay them. And that's my value to you. And that doesn't create any type of loyalty.
That's just money.
Yeah. And I think the other issue too is the public doesn't even know what to really expect from a realtor.
They have no idea, and they never will.
And so you have that combined with what we've just been talking about with the agents and the brokerages not being good.
Well, they have a bad experience, and then they associate it to everyone.
Yeah,
right?
And so like, because anytime I'm challenged by a client, it's always really dumb.
Yeah,
it's like, so are you a buyer's agent or a seller's agent?
And like they don't even know what that means.
That's a dumbass question. It's like, I'm both, and you want someone who's both because they know both sides of the coin.
Right.
Yes.
And it's like, because I've lost a listing that way because I was honest and they were looking for a buyer specialist.
Yeah.
Well, what you think you're looking for is someone who pays for Zillow leads, who only works with buyers because they can't go get their own business.
Yeah.
And then there's just all kinds of things like that. Or how many $350,000 houses have you sold? It's like, who cares?
Like,
sold a bunch of 600,000. What does that matter?
And again, it's not their fault, and that's why we have a job, because they have no idea. But if the public could just know what questions to ask the agent to find out what their experience level was and how they're going to be taken care of, then they could go interview the right agent and be happy.
It's up to us to create that knowledge to the best of our ability. But here's the thing, Casey.
It's pretty much impossible.
well, that's a value add that we could add to our brokerage.
I mean, if I go meet somebody, they usually are like, "Oh man, this is kind of a fresh breath of air," because the last people we talked to, the last agent we used was terrible, and so
I think I forgot what I was going to say, and I knew that was going to happen. Dang it! No,
Realtor brain.
We could create that value and share that with the public, but I remember what I was going to say. Like we could think it's impossible, and it might be, but that doesn't mean that we don't at least educate 10% of the market, if that's what the maximum that we can. Well,
that's all you have to do to be a good realtor,
and that's my point. But the other point I was going to make is, it does, even if we educate people on how to ask the right questions. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's an airplane flying.
Oh, they can
over.
hear it.
Sorry, my private jets pick me up.
Yeah, it's coming to get you.
It's already time, huh?
Already time.
Where are you off to today?
I gotta go to the Brick Center.
Oh, nice. Where the Thunder play. That's like right down the street, and you're taking your private jet.
Yeah, totally. Totally. That's what you call stupid money.
Yeah, right. I'm not driving there.
Like, that's
traffic and parking.
Like, I'm just gonna take the jet.
Take my helicopter. Yeah. But even if we educated 100% of the marketplace, which we know that's probably impossible.
Most people don't
on
want
the
to
right
learn.
questions to ask. We're still dealing with humans, and
their emotions.
and human emotions, especially with real estate, is fast, speed. I don't have time. We none of us have time. So that, I don't know the exact numbers. It's a high percentage of people, they interview the first agent and that's who they go with. So even if they don't hear the right answers that they're wanting to hear, they're like, I'm too busy. I took time out of my day to interview this agent, and I don't want to have to find another time out of my busy schedule with work and family, with fun time, what all the things that we do that keep us busy. And it's like, okay, I'll sacrifice quality because I don't have time. And I think people do that.
Yeah.
And the numbers prove that people do that.
Well, because I hear people all the time, and they'll say stuff like, we didn't really have a good feeling about her from the beginning.
Yeah, but we were there anyways, and we just, and that's the thing. That's what people do.
She just seemed really sweet, and
yeah. She told me she was new and didn't know what she was doing, but we wanted to give her a chance.
Out she didn't.
Yep.
How hard could it have been? Well, apparently,
which if someone's new does not mean that they can't be good.
No,
right?
But you better ask the right questions. Like, what kind of support do you have?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
So, what's next?
Well, maybe just talk about like maybe like some of the things that we do, and like as far as like the brokerage, like how we provide value and help agents that way, like not lie to them.
Yeah. So
things.
one of I think the biggest values for us is going to be the way that we educate, train, and mentor agents, right? And also our commission system, we have not altered it from the like as far as what percentage splits that people get. We haven't changed it since the very beginning.
We want people, we're not trying to hold people down. We want people to learn how to sell real estate the right way, and then motivate people to teach, train, mentor, coach, be an ambassador, whatever it may be, to help them get to being a top producer.
Well, when you do those things, you actually are educating yourself, because you learn faster when you're trying to teach someone else. That's a big part of it.
Always said that.
Yeah.
I'd say like, because like people, they're like, how long you been in the industry? And they're always surprised sometimes when I tell them how long. And it's like, because I taught and trained people. So not that I taught and trained them stuff I didn't know. If they ask me a question, I'm like, damn, that's a really good question, Curtis, but that's how it should be. Because if you think about it, if I'm a new agent, I did 12 deals my first year. So I had the experience of 12 deals.
It's pretty good.
Well, yes, it is. But then the next year, I started getting agents. I had maybe 3 or 4 agents, and then they each did.
Let's say they did 12, just for the sake of numbers. Yeah, that's 48 more deals a year on top of it.
Exactly. So now I already have so much more knowledge compared to any other real estate agent out there that's been doing it for 1 year.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I say, what I was getting to with our splits on what we do, or value that we provide, is if I were to quit real estate today, and let's give me an industry. Give me an industry, Lauren. What's your dream job, dream industry that you would want to do?
Insta influencer, duh.
Would that be your dream job?
TikTok. Sorry, my bad.
Putting you on the spot. Influencer. Okay. Let's say that I was, especially me, if I quit real estate and I got hired on at a social media company that trains and educates people on how to become an influencer, and they provide that service for people. I'm not going to come into that industry as the president of social media operations. I don't have the experience or the knowledge to even begin to supervise people, let alone do the actual job. And unfortunately for agents in real estate, we bring people on in those positions immediately because we go ahead and give them the top split. Well, for us, we look at it as a progression. You have to earn it and work your way to the top. So you start out with us, your first transaction is at 50%. And then as soon as you do your first transaction, you get a promotion, but you slowly work your way up because we have to train and educate you on so many different things.
And the more experience, the more money you get paid. You get a raise.
And that's how it should be.
And if your first thought is, oh, that's too low, I can't do that, it's not that hard, well, then you've already missed the boat.
Well, and people do say that, and we lose people because they're like,
I gotta figure it out.
I can get 80%. Like they're going to help. They said they're going to.
I've done 5 transactions. I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah, and they said that they can help me over here. I'm going to get the help.
Yeah, they said they'd go in my open houses with me. Yeah, because they'll do that for free.
Yeah,
and I'm always like, well, it's weird because there's still an 87% fill rate, and they have a majority of the market share. It's weird.
Well, we look those people up.
That was mean, but you know what I mean.
6 months later, we look those people up, and I'd say 90% of the time, what do we see? A goose egg.
They don't do anything.
A goose egg, or they're gone.
Yes.
And you pick the wrong brokerage to start, and you could end up 6 months from now being in a mindset where you don't even believe that someone could even help you through this because it's too hard, and you burn yourself out, and you're out of there. And it's unfortunate, but we brokerages are doing a huge disservice to people coming into the industry because money. I get the money aspect. We all want to do well and make money. But if you can actually, it's like, it goes back to the whole, like, I can either give you a fish or I can teach you how to fish.
Yes.
And if I teach you how to fish, then hopefully you will learn to say, man, I so appreciate the time that you put into me. And you create loyalty, and you create independent fishermen who are out there fishing without you, because of the time and effort you put into them.
Yeah.
There's going to be people who are like who don't appreciate it, and they go, and we've had that happen too.
Sure.
Right? But it's like, but you create so much more value. So you create better relationships because you're having to spend so much time with these people. And there's a certain way to go about it. We don't have time to get into that because not everybody's going to actually listen and do the things that you tell them to do. But
I mean, wouldn't you want to be? I mean, obviously, not everyone's going to answer this question this way because people are lazy. But like, if you're going to be a fisherman, wouldn't you want to like be sitting on the dock with like 10 other really experienced fishermen who can maybe help you solve a problem that you haven't thought of?
Like, oh, you're casting in the wrong spot, dude.
Yeah. Or do you want everyone sitting around you go like, hey man, how do you do that? And then you're like, oh, I do it like this. Like, oh, could you like do that for me? Could you like hold my pole for me
and show me and like
and it's like no. I'm not holding your pole for you, dude. It's like, it's just so frustrating.
But sign in my sheet before you go down the dock, please.
But I'll show you, and then I'll watch you do it. And if you're doing it wrong, because I want you to be able to do it without me.
Then they'll be like, no, don't worry about it. And it's like people here, they're like, hey, do we have a document that says blah blah blah? And it's like, well, that thing you just asked me about, did you not think? Like, our dot loop system has updated documents all the time. Did you not even think
to go
look? Just type in the word and see if it pulls up a document that might work. And it's like, yeah, we have it. Go get a dot loop. And they're like, oh, do you know what it's called? It's like, nope, because I'd have to go in there and probably type those keywords in there
and figure it out. Yeah,
and it's like with the YouTube and the Instagram stuff. It's like, and you too, like spending 6 hours making one video.
Yeah.
People aren't going to do that.
No.
But it's not going to always take you 6 hours, but it does initially because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing, like just training in general. I feel like I think a lot of places have like, they put training, but it's not training that actually like teaches people how to go produce per se. It keeps them busy.
Some of it does.
It's busy work. Yeah.
But and there's no follow up.
Yeah, I wish I could give like super good examples, but like I feel like our training that we give like value add, like it's like show up to work and this is how you're going to work.
Right.
We have training 6 days a week, so
yes.
And then we lose agents that say they need to go get better
more training.
And I'm like,
never came to the training.
We get 6 days a week, and 5 of those days
there's only so much there's only so many ways to go out and get real estate deals, and it's like, if you want to be successful, go learn these ways. You better learn how to get listings, and so many people don't want to do it. And I get it, because I was that agent in my first 2 years, but now I'm like, holy cow, I wish I would have been doing this whole time.
Well, what I think is that people get in their ear and they convince them that no, there's an 8th way, there's a 9th way, there's a 10th way, there's other ways, and they're easier. And you can get a higher split, and they're like, and again, it goes back to like, I can help you get more business, and you can pay less. And I'm telling you, those two things do not go hand in hand, because if you're getting paid more, then there are less resources and less time to invest in helping you to do more.
And you need to learn the skills that I was talking about and stop learning the 8th way, the 9th way, the 10th way. That's easier, because this real estate market, it changes every 5 years. That's why they did the report on agents that fail within 5 years. They didn't just randomly pick 5 years. It's because I forget whatever, but it's like a perfect to have a buyer's market and a seller's market, low and a high market, all within 5 years. And I'm just a big believer, and I do it in my business, is if you know how to do all of the income producing activities, you can survive in any market, no matter what's going on.
There's a joke about that.
Yeah, you got to understand all this. You got to understand that there's cycles. Like you could get your license in 2021, and whenever it's hot, and then the next quarter, interest rates are 7%, and you're out of business.
Yes,
like you're done because the one thing you didn't ever think about or consider or be willing to was to learn how to behave. Because Ricky Caruth has been talking lately. He's like, there's not going to be another 2008. He's like, because we're never going to allow that again. He goes,
Right.
but if the market wants to crash, he's like, I kind of wish it would. He's like, because then guess what? He goes, I'm going to have buyers coming out of the woodworks buying all the foreclosures.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? But everyone else is freaking out about a crash. Why?
But
Like-
I always joke in the grocery store industry. I'm like, I'm always protected because people always got to eat. And when COVID happened,
long as you got the
all
food, though.
all the restaurants closed, and it was like insane
Yeah.
working there. But same thing. Housing is a necessity. Food, housing, water. Like be in one of those three industries. I don't know what you can do in the water industry, but
No, there's plenty of money in the
I'm
water
sure there's
industry.
plenty of
There's
stuff.
billionaires.
Right. And, but really, people always need a place to live. So if it's not our traditional conventional loan, okay, well, then we better figure out foreclosures, to your point, Casey.
I used to
Right.
joke about your comment, Brooke, was a while ago. I don't know. I haven't been listening.
Wow. And
Sorry,
you're
I
on
was-
the podcast.
Do what? Yeah.
Just teasing.
Hey, we're still realtors at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was taking
He's
care- I
helping
was-
a client,
I was taking
providing
care of
value.
something,
Or,
but
agent.
I used to joke. So this is way off topic. You just let me know. But I used to joke that you could blindfold me, take me up into an airplane or a helicopter or whatever.
This has already been proven.
You could fly me around for hours and hours and hours, and I'm blindfolded. I have no idea which direction we're going in. Put a parachute on me, and as long as you drop me on land, okay.
But you put you in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
Sell
and
houses to
some real estate.
dolphins.
Good luck. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Sell
this
some
coral
seaweed.
reef over
Yeah.
here, Mr. Dolphin.
Yeah. Drop me anywhere in the United States. And I know that I could build a network to sell
Yeah, absolutely.
real estate to them. And it won't take 6 to 12 months.
And don't you want that kind of security?
Yeah.
Like to know that you could go do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
don't you
you're-
feel like you could do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Well,
Don't you, Brooke?
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone did that. He did.
In fact,
what's it? Undercover.
Undercover billionaire,
I might
millionaire,
argue-
or undercover billionaire, whatever it
Yeah.
is. We had to build $1 million business in 90 days.
I might
totally.
argue that I might be better off if I moved to a different city.
Yeah, because then I
Yeah,
could
because of the
be.
price points and
Well,
stuff.
that and then you'd have to start all over,
Yeah.
and you'd have to like I mean, if I moved tomorrow, I
So-
would be calling every single for sale by owner and expired every single day.
Calling agents to do open houses.
Open house.
I'd be knowing business owners real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I would
All kinds of people.
because when you know a lot of people and they send you business, it's easy to get lazy, and that's what happened to a lot of agents too. After when the interest rates went up, they went out of business because they've been doing it for 30 years but never seen a market like we saw last year.
Yeah.
And they were like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna just go back to nursing, I guess. After 30 years of real estate, and they're 70 years old going back into nursing.
See that?
that's-
They didn't even recruit agents.
Yeah,
Also, we wrap it up.
Let's do it.
yeah.
So you don't need 1,000 agents.
I was gonna say something really funny.
1,000 quality.
When
Let's start 1,000 quality agents.
when Curtis was not listening to us, it reminds me of just like how realtors are realtors. And whenever Claire, my wife, was having our first child, she was having this Theo natural, no pain medication, and she's over here, and I'm literally texting clients. I'm like, "You're doing great, babe. We won't do $15,000 repair. No way. You can go to heck, man."
Push.
She's like, get over here. Okay, well, how do you think we're going to pay for this child?
That's right. That's right. You just do what you got to do, man. You just have to.
I don't think people understand especially the general public, and when they think all we do is open doors.
Yesterday,
Well,
I did not. Yesterday, my phone did not leave my hand.
Well, you know what is kind
All
of
day
like
long.
weird is like that's the perception that's all we do is open doors. But then like I have people that are like, do you ever stop working?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I have to explain to them. I'm like, listen, my working is sitting here at the breakfast table for 30 minutes inputting a listing and still being able to be with you
Yeah,
and
it's-
close my laptop and be done.
different.
Yeah.
So it's different. It's not like 8 to 5,
I
but
do
people
see
don't
some-
understand that either.
I see people that work all the time, and I'm like, man, that must suck. And I'm like, oh wait, I work all the time, but I
7 days
don't.
a
Ours
week.
is
I don't
just
always
different.
feel like it is different.
Because you can pick up and be done at 11 a.m. or you
Yeah.
could, or if you have to show houses at 6, you're like, I'm gonna not show up
Take a nap.
till noon. Yeah, I mean, you have such control over it now. I mean, now I recommend that you have a set schedule and like you
Yes.
prospect at the same time every day.
Yes.
And then if you do those things, the people that can afford to like, have more time with their family and take off are the people that don't take off and go be with their family when it's time to work. They build what they have, and then it affords them the opportunity to do it. Now they have habits to know, like, here's what I got to do so that I can now continue to spend more time, not just spend time with my family, do my hobbies, whatever it is that you want to do, but people want to get into this industry and get that right away, and they don't put the work in to do it.
Yes, and you just got to work hard, because like I'm not going to retire when I'm 65. I mean, I'm going to do stuff, but like the whole old school, like that's what people don't realize. They say, "Oh, you're working all the time. Like, do you ever not work?" And it's like, "Yeah, but you're saying this now, but you're going to be really mad at me when I'm 45 and don't have to do as much as you, and you still have 20 more years to go."
One of my best friends is like, dude, I don't know how you do it, man. But I'm like, well, bro, my grandparents didn't give me a bunch of money. So,
Oh yeah,
I mean, like,
my
Dang
parents
it.
weren't
yeah,
rich.
it's like, what do you mean you don't know how I have to?
If only I could have had some
Yeah.
grandparents, man.
It's just
Well,
perspective and different mindsets. It's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with either one,
Yeah, and he works more hours than I do sometimes at his job that he doesn't really like,
Oh yeah, no, heck no.
but he gets to go home every night.
I much rather have to, like, if I'm on the beach and I selling a listing, you know how like empowering that feels.
Except when you're
Just saying.
headed down the beach and then you get a text from your client and they're like, "Hey man, this doesn't look right. Can you resend it?" And you're like, "Babe, I'll be right back." You take your ass back up to your room and get your computer back out and send it again.
Lauren, did you
get
look
down
up
there
a
and they're
would
like,
you rather?
"Didn't get it."
Dang it.
Lauren's got a good would you rather.
Okay.
Oh snap.
Okay.
Excuse
It's
you.
back. Did you?
No, you said you wanted
Tell
the
you-
helicopters.
She told him to go
So
grab her
I
another
said, you know what?
McDonald's coffee.
We don't need the jet to go to the Brick Center. We'll just get the helicopter.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not that far of a flight.
Right.
Helicopter's easy to get in and out real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. My
Less
bad, yeah.
expensive than jet fuel.
Would you rather glow bright pink whenever you're attracted to someone,
Oh.
or glow bright red whenever you're annoyed at someone?
Well, Curtis glows bright red when he's annoyed at someone.
It's like, uh-oh.
That was good. That was good.
He's turning red right now.
Okay, can you say it one more time? I had to.
Yeah. Would you rather glow bright pink whenever you're attracted to someone, or glow bright red whenever you're annoyed?
So, would you
I would
rather...
rather
well, you gotta
go
say it.
red because I don't want anyone to know if I'm attracted to them, and I especially don't want
You gotta
my wife
tell...
knowing
No.
that.
You gotta tell them what the would you rather was.
Well, that's fine. Then they
Yeah.
can back up.
Are we gonna tell them what the would you rather was?
You don't have. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess we should
I was
repeat
like,
the
quit
question.
explaining it.
Would you rather glow bright pink when you're attracted to someone, or glow bright red when you're annoyed with someone?
Definitely bright red.
I would
I'm just
do
gonna
bright-
let them know.
Because either one, you don't have to react to it. But I'm fine. I would rather someone know that I'm annoyed than
Attracted.
I'm attracted to them.
That's how you get a
That's
divorce.
that's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's embarrassing. I don't want to have to explain myself every time.
Well, you don't have to explain. You're pink.
I mean, you're right. You're
Explained.
right. Yeah, it's explained.
I don't
but,
know.
you
There's
but you
something
can be
about
attracted to someone, and that doesn't mean
I
that
didn't
you're
mean it. I
interested in
didn't mean it.
pursuing them.
Right. Oh,
you
sure.
know?
That's
of course.
fair.
Well, and that's
so
just
you
that's
wanna
just
give
natural,
them-
but that's just creating problems when you don't need them.
Yeah,
I'd
and then,
much
then if you're
rather-
attracted to someone and they know that you're married and they don't care, then then it causes even more problems.
Yeah, see,
you know?
no, I'd much
I
rather
don't want any
be
of that.
bright red and you just know you need to get the hell away from
Yeah,
me.
just stop talking.
yeah,
you know?
just leave.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one more if you want me to.
One more.
Sure. Real quickly, last one. Go.
Okay. Would you rather die in a bakery oven or in a cardboard?
God.
Would you rather die in a
Oh,
bakery
God.
oven or a cardboard compactor?
Oh my-
Cardboard compactor.
This is like, did you do this on purpose?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with the
for my
cardboard.
grocery background.
I think it'd be faster. I would go into shock. I would think, and then as it starts crushing my body, but you would rather just
Burn me.
slowly burn in an oven. Like
No, eventually you'll burn and then you don't feel it anymore. Being crushed is terrible.
Crush me.
My son
Yeah.
came up with a would you rather the other day. He goes, Dad, would you rather be swallowed up by a mosasaurus because they don't chew you, you just go straight into their stomach? Would you rather have a T-Rex rip you
don't
apart?
chew you.
Would you rather have a T-Rex rip you apart? Would you rather have a compies, nip at you to death? Or would you rather be stepped on by a T-Rex? And I'm like,
These are
This is-
all.
yeah.
This has got real dark.
so he
We're
is
so sorry
very
for our
into, he's
viewers.
very into Chaos Theory at Jurassic Park on Netflix.
I see this.
And so he's
I think I just
very
rather
much,
be stomped
very much
on.
into
What did he
it.
choose?
Or what'd you choose?
I so stomped on.
Yeah,
So
just-
that's why.
I
Like,
think so.
Just quick and easy. I don't want to
So-
be in someone's stomach.
Okay, I'm
Burning
just gonna tell
acid.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is why I chose what I chose. Those cardboard compactors,
Slow.
they go slow,
Yeah, but
so slow.
it would be still faster than burning in an oven.
No, because
You
I'd find the
boil up.
fire and just fall into it.
Okay, so whenever
There's
we
no
put
fire.
you,
You're in
There
a
is,
it's
and
a
some-
baking oven. It's
No,
she said
she
baking oven.
she
she'd
said
probably catch
bakery.
fire. She'd catch fire. So when
said
you're- when
bakery
you're
oven.
burning up and you're screaming for us to let you out, we're gonna say you chose this.
That's fine. That's fine.
And we'll be saying, "Lift it up,
Yeah.
lift it up."
Like a Star Wars, where you're like
I
trying to
don't
do
like
walls.
this. Would you rather have a fluffy bunny or a cat?
Close us out, Casey.
Fluffy bunny because I'm allergic to cats.
That's fair.
Cat, go.
I love my little
cat's
Prince
gross.
Harry, my Zozo, and my baby
Easy,
Stash.
easy,
I got 3 cats.
easy peasy. Close
All
us
right,
out,
guys. Well, thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment, click the bell, do all the thingies. And if you guys want to know more or have a topic that you want us to discuss, please drop a comment in the comment section,
Below.
and we'll do it. We'll do it for you. And we're signing off. I'm Casey Tudor. This is Curtis Haddock and Brooke
Message.